the moment right now, yeah, at this point of recording, it's heavily raining. You get it. So, what kind of paints would you consider, or would you tell developers or as builders that to actually consider that would help them reduce costs because of the weather? Alright, so welcome to the show. Now, for those who are not familiar with Triton International Company Limited, can you tell us about the company, the role it plays in the manufacturing industry and also the real estate industry at large?
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm excited to talk about Triton International Company Limited, who we are, what we do, the range of products and solutions we provide for our customers to include paints, coatings, waterproofing, construction chemicals, and specialized building materials. Triton International is a company built on quality, performance, and technical realities, with a wide range of products into architectural painting, construction chemicals, waterproofing systems, industrial and marine coatings, and specialized products for building materials. Our goal is simple. We provide not just qualities that look good. We want to be involved in the site's condition, in the site operations. We want to be involved in what is happening in the site. We want to involve our system. We also want to be involved in the challenging conditions of the Nigerian construction environment. This is what we want to do. And at Triton, we are not isolated to one product only. It's a whole system. We consider what kind of surface do you want to apply a product before we discuss with the customer. We need to find out all of this. What kind of surface, in what condition is the surface? What is that particular product? What is that particular challenge that the customer is looking to solve, so that we'll be able to guide the customer properly. What are the right primers that is required? What are the right coatings that should be applied? What are the final coats that is required that will give the customer or the client what he or she needs? So all these systems forms how we approach our work at Triton International. Thank you very much.
That's a whole lot from Triton, I must say.
Yeah.
But like for a layman like me, basically, we probably would think that paint is just the final stage of every construction. You get it? So how important is paint and coating to construction, especially in the real estate?
Okay. Paint is often viewed as a final finish in construction. Yes, but it is much more than that. A good quality paint preserves the building, protects the building, beautifies the building, attracts the building, increase the value of the building. So paint is much more than just the final stage in construction. Paint is seen both as a design and for protection as well.
Oh, thank you very much. Now that's explicit for me. And then now for developers, they're so centered on delivering long-lasting buildings and all. So what do you think they should look out for when it comes to choosing the right paints for buildings?
Okay, when it comes to choosing the right paints for buildings, what should be considered should be the quality of the product you want to use, the surface you want to apply this quality on. The developers shouldn't just look at the price, because what happens sometimes, a lot of time, developer will be like, okay, how much is it? What's the price like? What's the color? So it's much more than the price and the color. The quality of the product should be considered. The surface where this product is going to be applied should also be taken into consideration. The kind of environment, the primer, the kind of finish that is required should also be considered. Because sometimes when developers just choose, okay, this one is lesser in price, they go for it. At the end of the day, what looks cheaper or lesser in price might become the hardest to maintain or the hardest to repair, especially if this product fell on the building. So it is always better to consider what is the surface, what the substrate like, what quality of product, which area is this located. Is it in a area where there is moisture? Are there cracks on the building? Are they going to be doing a proper surface preparation? These are the questions that should be asked before choosing paint.
All right. So from what you just explained so far about
Yeah.
developers and their choice of paints, how has this affected? Like, are there real life scenarios where this has actually affected and that they actually felt or fell back and actually now said, okay, fine, it has to be Triton.
Yes, it has happened. There's this time clients came to our office to make inquiry, and we advise, because one of the things we do, we don't just sell paint, we don't just sell. We consult for our customers. When you come in, you want to buy from us, we will ask you the necessary question. We will consult for you. From the questions we ask you and from the response you give to us, we will be able to guide you or to tell you what product will be best for your wall or for the place you want to apply. So this customer came in that time, gave made inquiries about our products. He asked for our prices. We explained. We did consultation for him, and at the end of the day, was like, okay, because of the price, because of his budget, he said he was going to come back, and he left. He probably went to buy low quality paint, and his building was on the island. Low quality paint for the building. This time around, considering the price over the quality and the environment, like we discussed, then some months after, the paint faded. In fact, the paint didn't even last on the wall. It faded, and the person came back to us and we were like, okay, this is what I've done, but it didn't work. I will have to come back to you with the advice, the suggestion you gave to us. And we were able to advise him. He did a proper surface preparation. We gave the good product for the surface, what is required, surface preparation, spreading. That is where our home show wall plus wall putty, we advise him to use that. Then it was on the external wall. We advise him also to use our all weather primer for the external walls, and we gave him TP weather resist emulsion, which is a good quality emulsion for the external walls. And he did this until today. The building is still standing. So you see, at the end of the day, he didn't want to take this option because of his budget, but he went with the other option, the other cheaper option. But at the end of the day, it failed. It didn't give him what he wanted, and he had to come back for us to correct it for him. So you see, most of the time, considering the environment, the surface, and the quality and the kind of finish you want to achieve, also contributes a lot into making decisions when it comes to paint purchase. It's not all about the price.
I
Thank
see.
you.
Definitely. Yeah, you did mention you are not on surface protection and finishing. But one thing I noticed about Triton is that Triton works across residential, commercial,
Yes.
industrial, and marine. So
Yes.
now all these sectors, how do their needs differ when it comes to surface protection and finishing?
Okay, in Triton International, we are involved with different sectors. We are not just limited to paint only. For the paints, we have architectural and decorative designs. We also have construction chemicals, waterproofing, and specialized materials for building. Under our architectural and decorative coatings, that's where our emotion comes in. This kind of emotion is designed for schools, for hospitality centers, commercial developments. These are the kind of emotion that is designed for these areas, and it can be applied on internal and external walls as well. So for the architectural and decorative coatings, we have different kinds of products that we will advise. If you are coming in as a client to paint, looking for architectural and decorative coats, we have product for the internal walls. Our vinyl matte emulsion is a very good emulsion for the internal walls, and is specifically formulated for the internal walls. It gives luxury. It's a smooth finish as well. So we advise you, but before you paint, we advise you do a thorough surface preparation by preparing the surface before painting. Then you screed with a home show wall plus wall putty. After the screeding, you go ahead and paint. Then on the ceiling as well, we have a royal emulsion that you can apply on the ceiling as well. Then there's also satin. Satin as sheen is super washable. If you are looking for something that you can wash when there is stains on it, you wash. We advise you use a satin, TP satin. Then we also have majestic emulsion. This one is for projects, is for project. It's also for the internal walls as well. Then our imperial emulsion it has a smooth finish for the internal walls. So all these I'm mentioning are for the internal walls. Then for the primer for the internal wall, we have a sealer primer to be applied on the internal wall. Let's take for instance, you want to apply satin on your wall. Satin is very sensitive. So we advise you put a primer before painting satin on it. So the sealer primer is what is required for the internal walls. Then for the external, we also have our products. The primer for the external is our all-weather primer. Then we have good quality emulsions, weather resist emulsion for the external walls. We have our TP weather resist, and we have our TP max shield emulsion for the external walls. So all these are products for the external walls specifically formulated. We also have acrylic matte emulsion. Acrylic is for the external walls. This withstands moisture on the external walls. It withstands the weather on the external, sunshine, dust and dirt. So all these are under architectural and decorative coatings. This is one part of our paints. Then on the industrial and marine coatings, on the industrial coating, this one for companies, for factories, for steel, we have our industrial and marine coatings. This one we can talk about. There is the alkyd primers as well. These are industrial coatings as well. Then for the marine coatings, the industrial coating, we have our enamels, our TP alkyd enamels, gloss or matte. Then for the marine coatings, we have our PU polyurethane. We also have our epoxy for the marine coatings. Then we also have a construction chemicals. Our W shield is for the construction chemicals. We have the SBR, the PU flexi. All these products are under construction and specialized building materials. The specialized building materials is where we have our mammoths, because the construction industry and the real estate is innovating daily. So the mammoths board is for modern days construction.
Ah,
Thank
fine.
you very much.
So you just kept going on and on and on. I see that Triton has a whole lot to
Yes,
explore.
yes.
So let's talk trends. When it comes to finishing, the kind of paints and then the kind of finishing that people actually have. When it comes to smart houses and luxury apartments, especially in Lagos. What are the kind of trends that you've noticed as you're going around Lagos, looking at luxury apartments and all the smart houses? What are the kind of trends you've noticed?
Okay, talking about trends now. For now, the trend now is most people right now, even homeowners, construction companies, developers, architects, engineers, painters, and screeders. Now, light colors choose to sells more now. People are interested now. The trend now is about light colors. You see warm and light colors. For instance, on the external walls, people tend to go more for light colors like dove gray, dark gray, off white. These are the light colors, warm white, on the internal walls as well. So now the trend now is not just about luxury alone, it's about consistency, and we at Triton, we are also developing with the trend. So whatever your color is, we'll match it for you.
All right,
Thank you.
great. Now let's look at Nigerian weather. At the moment right now, yeah, at the point
Yeah.
of recording, it is heavily raining, we get it. So what kind of paints would you consider, or would you tell developers or as builders that to actually consider that would help them reduce costs, maintenance costs? Because if some paint will actually wash off, you get it and all. So what kind of paints would you tell people to go for when painting the houses or finishing, running the house finish because of the weather?
Okay. We advise our customers or our clients, if you're especially those, for instance, those on the island, the building on the island, because of moisture. Now, like you said, it is rainy season. So if a client come from the island and to get products from us, we will advise the person, first of all, a thorough surface preparation needs to be done. Then the wall needs to be spreaded, and a primer. We have our alkaline resisting primer. This primer, just like it prevents alkaline on the wall, is good, suitable for the external wall and on the internal wall as well. So this primer prevents alkaline on the wall. So if you are on the island, we advise you do a thorough surface preparation, spread your wall with our wall plastone show wall putty, prime it with our alkaline resisting primer, and paint it with TP weather resist emulsion. These are the products at this time that will stay on the island. If you're on the mainland as well, in the mainland, we don't have much water issues like those on the island. If you're on the mainland, we advise you accordingly. If you have water issues, it's the same process. We treat your wall. If you have fungi on your wall as well, we have our alkaline resisting primer that washes off fungi on the wall. Allow it to dry, spread it with wall putty, allow to dry, prime and paint. So we advise you, according to the specific needs you have. If you are on the island or mainland, we advise you and we consult for you and give you what is suitable for your wall, so it will help you reduce cost and waste. So if you are on the mainland, we advise you accordingly. Then same as we are on the island. So this is what we do. We advise our clients, give you product that is suitable for your wall, so you don't have to spend much money. So we give you quality for your value and ensure you get good products for your wall.
We're still talking about weather right now and how it
Yes.
affects finishings
Yes.
and all. But then I think we focused more on, because I said the rainy season and all. What
Yeah.
about if it's the scorching hot or dry season? Does the same thing apply to?
Yeah, if it is like for the external wall, if you want to paint the external walls, we have our TP weather resist emulsion. This is weather resist. It's specifically formulated for the weather outside. The weather outside is different from that of the inside. So on the outside, there is dust, there is moisture, there is sun. So we advise you, for instance, we have particular products that are for the internal walls. Because of the weather condition on the internal walls, we have specific products for the internal. For the external, we also have specific products for the external. This product has been tested in our laboratory and checked, and we know for sure that this is what is good for the external wall. So be it rainfall, be it rainy season, be it sunshine, whatever it is that is happening on the external wall, we have our TP weather resist emulsion, our TP max shield emulsions. These ones are specifically formulated for area where there is moisture on the external wall. So this protects your walls on the external wall against external forces that want to attack your walls, your external wall, like sun, rain, moisture, and dust.
No.
Same with the internal wall as well.
No, that's beautiful. Yeah, thank
Yes.
you for clarifying that.
Yes.
Because I would actually have thought maybe you just paint during the wet times, and then you just paint during the dry times. I don't know. But anyway, that explains it. But then let's talk about mistakes that some of these developers and homemakers make when they want to select paints. Can you just shed more light on, like, majorly the mistakes they make? Because a lot of people don't even know what kind of paint they use, and also,
Yeah.
what are the mistakes that these people actually make, and then how can they actually avoid those mistakes?
Okay, some of the mistakes is happens when it's not just about developers, any other, even homeowners, painters or spreaders as well. Before you paint, it's not just about paint is a final code, but before then, preparation needs to be done properly. If you don't do the proper surface preparation, even if you use the highest of the quality of paint, it might fail. So the mistakes developers make is the most of them don't consider the substrates, the walls where they want to paint this, apply this paint on. They will just go ahead and paint. So if you don't do a thorough surface preparation, and if you don't choose the right quality for the right substrates, you know these are problems. It might cause issues on the building. And another thing, most of the people also go for colors and price, other than considering quality, the substrates, the environment, the thorough surface preparation, the one where you want to paint. Does it need to be screeded? Has it been screeded? Has it been screeded? Are there primers on the wall? So this needs to be considered before painting. So if this is not put in place, thorough surface preparation, primers when necessary, or the wall needs to be screeded. If these things are not checked, just go about because of the price and the color. These are common mistakes that happens.
All right, so thank you very much for that, for pointing that out. But what about bubbles? What causes them on walls?
Okay, bubbles. When if there is moisture on the wall and it is not treated, you go ahead and paint on it. It can cause bubbles. So in painting, especially on the external, not just on the external wall, on the internal wall as well. This is where thorough surface preparation comes in. Is if a building has been attacked by moisture, this is what causes bubbles. So before you go ahead and apply paint on it, a thorough surface preparation needs to be done. The wall needs to be screeded. That's where our home sure wall plus wall putty comes in. After the screeding, allow it to dry, then put a primer on it, an alkaline resisting primer, before painting. So if this is put in place, there will be no bubbles.
Ah, it seems like this is a whole lot of costing. As in, do you think people need to spend more to actually achieve this? Does Triton actually have a cost management effect to that?
So in terms of pricing, our prices are very competitive compared to what's obtainable in the industry. I mean, looking at the same brand, the same category you place our product with, because our products are premium quality products. Our prices are very competitive. So we consider this, and on large orders, we also offer discount to our customers. So when you come in as a client, we consult for you, we give you the prices of all our products, give you what is suitable for the substrate you want to apply this on. Then we'll be able to advise you. Then you check it, you look at the cost implications, and you'll be able to tell us, we work with your budget, whatever your budget is, and we will find a way to work with it. If it is for premium quality paints, we will work with it as well. If you are looking at for economic quality paints, we also have our standard matte emulsion in the market currently, and it is very good as well. That's our economic quality brand, our standard matte emulsion. For the Triton brand as well, our prices are also very competitive. So your budget, we will work with your budget, and we will give you good quality products that will be suitable for what you want to achieve with your budget. So the issue of pricing and cost is what we do work around. We support our customers by providing them good quality products at a very competitive prices, because at the end of the day, we don't just sell, we also consult for them and after sales services as well. So we care for our customers, so we also consider the price as well.
All right, thank you very much. So there's nothing we say about today. The technology is changing everything rapidly.
Yes.
You get it. So,
Yes.
When it comes to technology, at Triton, how are you people adapting or evolving with technology? When it comes to paint manufacturing, coats applications, and all these things. So, how is Triton evolving with technology?
Okay, thank you very much for that question. At Triton International, the Triton Paints branch, when it comes to quality, we don't play with quality. Starting from the managing director till the last person, everybody understands quality. So we have our skilled, our professionally trained quality control managers that ensure we get good quality. In terms of innovations, we have machines that tints colors, machines that matches colors. So we are up the innovation, we are growing with the innovation so that we are not left behind on anything. When it comes to colors or quality, we are very specific, so that we will give to our clients the exact quality that they want for their walls. starting from our customer care team when the order comes in, because the order coming through the customer care, starting from there, everyone understands quality, from the customer care to the production to the laboratory, even to the admin. Everyone in the office understands quality. So when it comes to quality, we don't play with quality. We take our quality seriously. So the innovation, we are growing with the innovations. We are putting things in place, and we are upgrading our machines. There are machines that we have for checking, for quality control. Before this quality go out to a client, there are certain quality control that needs to be checked. A product cannot go out to a client without proper quality control. It's not allowed. It's not done. So all these have been put in place. We have professionals that have been trained at technical people who have been trained to ensure that this is put in place, to check this properly, because that's what the company stands for. When it comes to quality, that's what we are known for, so that the good quality can be given to the customer, and it will serve what the customer or the client needs.
Wow, you've revealed so much about paint. One would literally just think that it's just to just paint a house and all. But it seems there's a lot to this paint and the paint industry at large. So tell us, what are some of the things that people don't even know about when it comes to paint, surface finishes and all? Do you have like major experiences that you can share with us? Let us know, like, because I'm sure a lot of people want to actually know more when it comes to paint and the paint industry.
There was a time before this time. We've been around in the industry with experience over 20 years, and before then, take for instance spreading. Before then, what people know generally is the traditional POP spreading. POP is being used on the internal wall, on the external wall as well. But because it is not meant for spreading, it is meant for casting. So before we discovered wall plastering, wall putty, this is what was being used even on our projects as well. So the management of Triton International have to make research and findings and find out that POP is not meant for spreading the walls, the internal or external walls, because by the time you add the emulsion and the top bond, it doesn't allow the wall to breathe. So what is required is a wall that is breathable. If a wall doesn't breathe, it will cause cracks, moisture will be formed. So that was how Triton International discovered and bring into the country wall plastering wall putty, which is a white cement-based polymer putty, and it is UV resistant. It is suitable for internal and external wall. It is made up of white cement, so it allows the wall to breathe, so in thereby preventing cracks and moisture on the wall. So because of these issues that we had, wall plastering wall putty was discovered. So currently in the industry right now, even for our clients, we advise everyone not to mix the top bond. By the time you mix the top bond and the emulsion on the POP and spread the wall, it will look fine for some time, but if the wall doesn't allow the wall to breathe, therefore it causes cracks and moisture. That's one of the reasons we have crack issues and moisture issues in the building. But if you spread your wall with wall plastering wall putty, is breathable, white cement, it allows your wall to breathe. It doesn't cause crack, it doesn't cause discoloration on the wall, because using the other option there will be cracks, discoloration, fungal will start developing on the wall, you start having issues. You realize that this building has just been painted for like some months ago. All of a sudden you start seeing cracks everywhere. It is because of all those mixture, the top bond and the emulsion. By the time all this is mixed and put it on the wall, it doesn't allow the wall to breathe, therefore it causes cracks. These are the issues that people are facing with their walls. So we came up with a solution, which is the wall plastering wall putty. It allows your wall to breathe. It's a white cement based putty. This one you only mix water only. It doesn't require any other mixture like top bond or emulsion. So using this to spread your walls, it allows the walls to breathe, thereby preventing cracks. I'm talking of hairline cracks. It doesn't prevent cracks that structural cracks or cracks that has to do with the building or the foundation. If the foundation is not properly built or proper waterproofing is not put in place, no, this won't prevent it. But hairline cracks that arise as a result of gums and emulsion that has been packed on the wall, so this is the solution that Triton International came up with. That's why we have our wall plaster shore wall putty. If you spread with this for your internal and external walls, it prevents your walls from flaking, prevents bubbling, prevents cracking. In fact, it actually brings out the true color of your paints on the wall, and it reduces the amount of paint consumption on the wall. Let's take for instance, you wanted to spread a place with, say, let's say like 5 buckets of paint. If you spread it with wall plaster shore wall putty, it will reduce the amount of paint consumption. So these are the things that Triton International, the management of Triton, discovered, and we brought this product into the country. So currently, it is fast selling. It is everywhere. People are using it. And the thing with this product is, if you come in contact with it, you will love it. Spreaders love it. Architects love it. Engineers, even homeowners love it because it is easy to use. You only mix with water. It saves money and it sprays very well. It's suitable, same product for the internal and external walls. So this is one of the solutions that Triton International came up with to solve the issue in the construction industry in Nigeria. Thank you.
All right. So, have there been any scenario like an happening? Let's say, for an instance, someone actually tried, or you actually tried this one of your products, and
Yes.
then it failed at a point, and then you had to just go back and say, okay, what is wrong? What can we do to actually get this right and all? And then you went back to the drawing board, and then you came up with a better option for it. Are there stories like that that has emanated from the past?
Yes, we have an instance whereby a painter did not do a thorough surface preparation on the wall. Just put the paint on it. The surface wasn't prepared properly, and the finish didn't come out well as it should. And the client reached out to us, and we had to send one of our professional there, one of our technical person there. On getting there, we discovered that the issue is not with the paint. Now, most people misunderstood paint to be the issue. If your surface is not properly treated, if your surface is not properly treated, proper surface preparation is not done, if you put paint on it, it might not stick, it might not stay well. Let's take for instance, a client has spreaded these our walls with POP, and you want to apply satin on it. Satin cannot sit on POP. Satin is a very sensitive paint, that TP satin. So even though a client has spreaded the wall with POP, we will advise the client to put a primer on it. A primer is necessary to put a primer because the primer will act as an adhesion to prepare the surface for you to paint the satin on it. So we advise our clients, if you are spreading with your walls with POP, before getting to know about our wall plaster shore wall putty, and you want to put our TP satin on it, not an issue. We advise you to use our sealer primer. We have a solution for it. You apply one coat of our TP sealer primer on the POP before painting satin on it. So these are some of the issues we've had and how we solved it. Thank you.
So aside surface treatments that you've mentioned, I believe I've learned a whole lot about you mentioning surface treatments. Are there any other unique factors that Triton has that stands them out apart, from every other paint industry or paint makers in the country?
Yes. Triton International, excuse me, we are not just about selling products only. No, it's not for us. It's not just about selling products. We consult for our customers. We don't look at one product in isolation. For us in Triton, we don't look at a particular product in isolation. We look at the complete system, like architectural and decorative painting. We are there. We mention our emotions, vinyl matte satin, royal, imperial emotion, weather resistant, tipping mark shield. All these are under architectural and decorative coating. Then when it comes to the industrial and marine coatings, we have our archive enamels, for the industrial coatings. We have PU, polyurethane. We have epoxy flooring. We also do epoxy flooring, epoxy top coat for steel and on metal and for the flooring as well. So this is under marine coatings. We also have our construction chemicals, the weather shield, the SBR, the PU flexi board we talked about. We also have the hydro locks and the wet guard mats that we talked about. All these are under our construction chemicals, the W shield. Then we also talked about the specialized materials for building, where our Mamox board, our Mamox Thermorock board comes in. So you see, we are not limited to just supplying paints. When it comes to construction, we are there. Construction chemicals, waterproofing, architectural and decorative coatings, industrial and marine coatings, we are there. So we don't look at a particular product in isolation. We look at the entire system. By looking at the entire system, we ask questions like, where do you want to apply this product? On what surface do you want to apply it? What is the condition of the surface? What particular issue does this client want to solve? What are the right primers, the putty, and the final coat that is required? We also ask questions like, what is the cost implication for the customer? How do we ensure that the customer get value for his money? How do we assist the customer to get a good quality product that is pocket friendly, and at the same time it will serve the purpose for what he or she wants to use it for? And we also ask questions that, how will the final coat come out like? What are the colors? So these are the questions we ask. So we are not limited to one product or just selling. So all these systems forms how we approach our work at Triton International.
Thank you very much. You've been a whole lot of vibe when it comes to paints in Nigerian industry, and
Thank you.
believe that I actually have learned a lot. And our listeners out there too, actually. I'll pick one or two. But before we go, just one final question. Now, we know the real estate sector, it's probably very large. There are a whole lot of industries that make it up. Now, so for people who are in various sectors, probably architectural, like you said, the developers, real estate agents, like those real estate industry at large, what would you tell them if you were to tell them something about how paint is important, pretty much very important when it comes to the real estate value chain? What is that thing you would tell them that makes paint very, very important?
Okay, thank you very much for the question. I will tell them that paint is much more than being the final coat in a building. What should also be looked out at paint, a good quality paint can enhance the appearance of a building. It can add value. A good quality paint add value to the building. It attracts buyers for people who are selling the building, for developers. It attracts buyers. It can even attract tenants. If you have a house you want to sell, if you don't apply a good quality paint, even if the building, you've put in so much money in the building, if you put bad paint on the building, it can reduce the value of that property. So a good quality paint it's not just a final coat in a building. It promotes the building, it beautifies the building, it adds values to the building, thereby attracting buyers and tenants for the building. A good quality coating can enhance the lifespan of the building, the durability, the performance of the building. So they should also be looking at good quality coating rather than just the low price paints.
All right, thank you very much, Ms. Regina, for being on this podcast.
Thank
you so much for sharing your insights on it. So just to close here, I know that I said that was the last question, but how can people reach out to Triton? Tell us, how can they reach out to Triton if they actually want to deal with you in the future?
So we are on our social media handles. We are on Twitter, we are on Instagram, we are on Facebook, we are on TikTok at TP Triton Paints, at TP Triton Paints. That's our handle, TP Triton Paints. Follow us on our social media pages to get updates, see our videos, get to know more about our products. And our customer care lines is 24 hours. It's open. You can call anytime, send messages anytime. Our numbers are 080 307-44444. It's also, you can call this number, you can also send WhatsApp messages to the number, and our customer care team are ever ready, willing to assist and consult for you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Regina. It's a wrap on today's episode of the Project Souqgrandeur Podcast. Well, I'm still Emmanuel Dadiji. It was great to actually have Ms. Regina. She shared so much insight on the paint industry. And I must tell you, I really learned a lot. I thought painting was just one finished layer of the whole thing. I didn't know that it actually has more glamour and then there's a whole lot to it. I actually learned a lot. Don't forget to subscribe and share this video. Turn on notifications so that you get more of our content. We still remain Project Souqgrandeur, and until we come your way again, stay tuned and God bless.